What is up, guys? John the RetroBro back again with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the best Sonic game on Sega CD. And you know what? Many of you might be thinking it's Sonic CD. Well, I hate to break it to you. Sonic CD, I know it's loved by many. In my opinion, not the best Sonic game on Sega CD. So we're actually going to be talking about Sonic Megamix. Now, Sonic Megamix came out for the Genesis and the Sega CD. What is Sonic Megamix? Sonic Megamix is a game that is essentially, they took the first Sonic game from the Sega Genesis, disassembled it, added features, added graphics, added stages, and remade the game for Genesis first, and then was made for the Sega CD. If you were to think of a Sonic remaster, this is pretty much it. This is a phenomenal, I wouldn't even call it a ROM hack because it really is so much better than that. It feels like a first-party Sega game. So today we're actually going to be looking through the Sega CD version of Sonic Megamix. I'll kind of be showing you the different optimizations, different features, different things you could do with the game, what they added, and I'm actually going to go through each stage and show each stage. So played it on both original hardware, it runs great on the Sega CD, and I've played it on emulation. Both are phenomenal. So guys, without further ado, let's get into Sonic Megamix on the Sega CD. Alright, so the first one I'm actually going to be showing is the Sega Genesis version. Now this is the lesser of the two versions, I would say. It's still decent, but I would say if I had to pick Sonic 1 or Sonic 2 to play, or Sonic Megamix on the Genesis, I would definitely pick previous two. So this is still pretty decent. You can see we're graded with the intro screen here. Graphically, it looks amazing, guys. This is a Genesis. This is run on Genesis hardware. So you can kind of go into our options here, which is nice. So this is pretty cool. You know, you can do your player select Sonic, Mighty, Shadow, which is pretty cool. You can play as Shadow. You can play either the normal mode, which is going to give you the normal game, or the normal Megamix game, or the original Sonic 1 game. So we've all played original Sonic 1. So we're going to put this on normal, and we'll play as Sonic. So we'll play this on the Megamix mode as Sonic. I like the little, almost like the Gunstar Heroes sounds. They did borrow sounds from other games, obviously. This still, to a degree, is a ROM hack, so keep that in mind. But it plays like the original. Now, personally, on this first stage, I like much better. They actually changed it. I like it much better on the Sega CD. We'll get into that. I just want to go over the first stage here on the Sega Genesis version and kind of how it differs from the original Sonic 1. So first thing is nice, right? Original Sonic 1, we did not have a spin dash. So we have a spin dash here. This is added, obviously, so if you hit Robotnik, that will take your coins. Another thing added here, let me kill this guy. Now, if you press up, so here we go. So this is a nice feature we don't have. So this was obviously taken from Sonic 3. We have our nice little fireball. So originally, this level was designed to look more like the original Sonic level, and you'll see what I mean in the Sonic CD version, because it actually has the blue water. But this is supposed to take place during the dusk, so that's why it has those red tones. I personally don't like it. I think it looks weird, but like this doesn't make sense right here. Why is that there? Now I think we're stuck. So. Now, as far as sound goes, it sounds pretty good. You're gonna see in the Sonic CD version here in just a minute how much better that game sounds. Obviously, it's using the CD audio versus the cartridge. But there's a lot more features in the Sega CD version, so obviously because we have this, we can bounce, which is neat. So there's a lot of added features. I like the fact that you can play as different characters, and it's kind of like re-experiencing a new Sonic game for the Genesis. So this is the Genesis version. I won't get too much further into this because it's pretty much going to be the same with a few differences in the Sonic CD version, which we'll go into now. Alright guys, so here we have the Sonic CD version of Sonic Megamix. Now, like I said, this is the best Sonic game on Sega CD. I'm gonna catch some flack for that, but I don't care. I don't like the past future thing in Sonic CD. I think it kind of kills the way Sonic is meant to be played. Full speed ahead, which is actually nice about this one. So there's no speed cap on this game. So obviously we're met with better sound in the Sega CD version. Our options are a little bit different. We can play as Tails and Knuckles, not just Sonic, Shadow, and Mighty. So we'll play as Sonic. We'll do normal Mega Mix mode. If you go into preferences, there's some other preferences in here as well. We can go Control Scheme, Mega Mix Classic, Supersonic Music. I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure what Supersonic Music is. I've turned it off and on, and nothing has that I really changed. You have a spike bug. This is that speed cap I was telling you about. Camera style, it says extended or normal. There's no difference in either of the two. And I'm not quite sure exactly what that's changing. I thought extended would be kind of pulling the camera back, but that's certainly not the case. It's really the same distance away. Boss text, there's text when you fight the boss in this game, so you could turn that on or off. Now we can get into the game here, and I'll show you each level. So there's still 8 levels. It's really 7. It's kind of like 8 because a few of the stages are merged a little bit. So the first one we're going to do is the Sunny Shore Zone. So this is much like, obviously, the one I showed you for the Genesis version. I think this one looks much better. My favorite level, though, is going to be the Dark Fortress Zone, which I believe is, the Marble Zone. So you can see right off the bat, this is a the color palette's a lot better. It looks a lot better. So one of the things is you can do that homing dash. So you can do your homing dash. You have the spin dash, and you also, along with the spin dash, if you press up, you'll have that dash there as well. So a lot of added features. You can go a lot faster in this one. Yeah, on the surface, it still really does look like a Genesis game, but you're getting those like added features of the Sega the CD sound, the dash feature. It runs a little bit faster. You see, this just runs just incredibly fast. Now, the bonus stages in this one are the bonus stages from Sonic 1. So again, it's essentially a remaster. We're in the era of these remasters of games that we've had. You see a lot of games coming out on early PS4, PS3. They're all getting remasters on, PS5 or Xbox Series X. So this is kind of, I like to look at it as almost a remaster of the Sega or the Sonic 1 on Sega Genesis. So we can go here, we'll go to World 2 next, which is going to be the Dark Fortress Zone. Alright, so here we have Dark Fortress Zone. It starts off, it looks a lot like the zone, I want to say, is it Marble Zone? I want to say Marble Zone. People are going to call me a fake Sega fan, even though I grew up playing Sega. It's been a while since I've played the first one. But I want to say it would be Marble Zone, so this would be that level. And for the most part, you know, there's added features like you have that little boost there. But these levels are rebuilt. This isn't the same level. There's actually a lot more going on. There are some areas of the stages that are kind of similar, but this is you know, a brand new game. And you know, a lot of times when you have ROM hacks and stuff that's kind of been just remade and put out there, it feels cheap. It doesn't feel like a real game. It doesn't feel like that was a glitch there. It doesn't feel like a Sega game or a PlayStation game or whoever it's trying to be. This one feels like a first-party Sega game. I've ran into a couple glitches here and there. One glitch I found to happen pretty often was in certain levels, and I'll show you later. If you jump, I'm doing terrible now because I'm talking, but if you jump like above the stage into the air, you'll actually get stuck in the sky. You can get back down, but it's just kind of, it's an annoying glitch that's in the game. And I'm not sure why it's there. I'm not a programmer, so I don't know, but it's really, that was the only major one that I came across. And sometimes it can be annoying because, you know, you're trying to jump onto a platform and you can't because the ceiling's glitched or whatever. That. I mean, you can see how much faster this runs. It's just amazing. Oh shit! See, gotta watch it. That's some of the things these games will do because it'll. The way they program this, I think they expected people to kind of use a lot of that to their advantage, and it's certainly in some of the stages you really have to watch. Like I did that last time. So we'll check out the third level here, which is called City Outskirts Zone. So here we go with City Outskirts Zone. And again, this is much like the third level in Sonic 1. The music's a little different. Obviously, this isn't all Sega music in here. There's actually a version of Smooth Criminal by Michael Jackson at one point, and one of the later levels, which I thought to be kind of cool. It was like a 16-bit Sonic Smooth Criminal song. It was actually really good. And I don't know if the developers made that. I'm assuming they probably just took that. This is pretty cool. Sonic 1 Megamix. So there's actually been a few different versions. I believe there's a Sonic Mania Megamix as well. So this has been done for quite a few games on a few different versions. So that's good. This will take us to a special zone, so I'll show everyone the special zone here. Again, it's very much like the first one, but they're different. It's not the same thing, and it is a little. It's not as smooth as the original. Like I've tried to get that one up there, and I've actually hit it, and for some reason it won't give it to me, which is really frustrating. But actually, okay, it gave it to me this time. But that's like impossible to get out of. So it's not as smooth as, say, the original special stages. So let's go to the next zone now. The next zone is actually going to be Misty Maison. So this is Misty Maison, and this is the background music taken from Columns 3. But this is by far the best looking zone. I thought so. I thought this looks amazing. I mean, you can see the water. The background is kind of strange. Like, you'll see at one point here, we'll go under the water, and you're still like, it's almost like you're looking through a fishbowl. And the bosses, for the most part, from my experiences, have been they're closely related, or I should say, very similar to the first original bosses. So this is what I'm talking about. This background. You would think the background would change when you go underwater. So it's almost like I'm just in a fishbowl here. Why would the background be the same as if I'm outside of the water? But it's okay. It still looks cool. This is a pretty brutal water level for the parts that you're underwater. First stage here isn't too bad, but later on, there's 3 stages for each one. Later on, you will find yourself running out of air very quickly, so you have to make sure you're hitting all of your bubbles. So we got this water here. Again, there's some traps there. So the developer's pretty clever with making sure it feels like a Sonic game. So that's strange. You don't have the wah noise that he gets when he gets water. I don't know why that was left out. It's kind of it's strange when you're running out of air and you don't hear that sound when you hit the bubble. So again, there you got to be careful not to hit that. And I've never seen those. I could be wrong, but I don't remember really seeing these in other Sonic games. They might be in Sonic Mania. But those Robotnik little boxes there, I don't really remember seeing those too often before, so I don't know if that's something the developer added. You can correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. I'm not always right about everything. I do make mistakes, but I really don't recall. But if it's in other Sonic games, I'd love to hear about it. So there's 3 stages for this one, and the music is different in all of them. But we'll move on to the next stage here, because these are definitely the longest stages. But this is my favorite stage of the game. It has the, I think it has the most color. It's one of the more complicated stages, but not too complicated. And there's a 1-up up there. Later on this game, we'll throw a lot of 1-ups at you. So this is the Starry Night Zone. So obviously this is like Starlight Zone on the Sega Genesis on the first one. This was actually in the first Sonic. This was my favorite stage, and I always thought it felt like a roller coaster when I played this game. So I really always loved this. This was my favorite stage on the original Sonic. Now, with that being said, it's probably, I love the other one we just talked about, the Misty Maze. I really like this one because of how much I liked this stage on the original Genesis, on the first Sonic. I really like this one as well because, number one, they added a lot of background here. So you have some more background. You have that brick layer and almost like a construction city-like in the background, which is neat. That wasn't in the first one. The first one's just a sky with stars in it. and this adds a little bit of a newness to this stage, and there's a lot more like hills and I'm gonna die. Oh, I'm not. Nice. There's a lot more hills and like loops in this one, and one of the reasons why I like the original is because I thought it felt like like I was on a roller coaster, and that's how Sonic was supposed to feel back in the day. And there's like way more loops and hills in this one, so it really makes it really gives you that feeling on this one as well. And I've done that last time. I can't go that way. I want to go this way. And they added those fans, which I always thought I always thought those fans were kind of cool back in the day. Got a little one up there, which is nice.
Yes.
So again, not the same music as the original Sonic in this stage. You can be the judge which ones you like better. There's a couple stages in this one, in this game, where I would much prefer the original. I would much prefer the original soundtrack, but you know, obviously, that could lead to some problems. I mean, obviously, they essentially made an unlicensed Sonic game, so how much worse could it have been? You can see how many just more loops there are in this one. And how much faster you can go is just really kind of mind-blowing. And that's pretty cool. There's the end stage right there. Alright, so this is Metallic Bass Zone. Or as we remember it as Sonic fans, Scrap Brain Zone. So this is one of the levels where I would probably prefer the original soundtrack over the Megamix soundtrack. Just because there was a more of an omnibus feeling, a scary feeling of the that first one. Like just the way the soundtrack was, you knew when you got to this stage in Sonic 1 that you were getting close to Robotnik. But having said that, you know, it does kind of go along with that fast speed feel to it. You know, we see a lot of the same enemies, some of the same pitfalls and features and environmental stuff that you have to get through. There's even that spinning wheel. See if I can find one. Where the wheel spins, you have to sling around the wheel. There's a couple of those in here as well. And again, they add a little bit to the background here of these stupid pigs. I just thought these were really strange. We have the flame guys here. And I'm gonna die. Alright. So now if you've noticed that we didn't get into the Labyrinth Zone, so I don't know why they did this. Maybe it was a hard level to design for. Now that water world we were at, was a little bit like Labyrinth Zone, but what they did was they added it here, and here we have one of those wheels. So what they did was they added it on here. So we'll go to the Labyrinth Zone, and it's one level that they added right before the final stage in the final fight, which we'll get to here shortly. So let's check out Sonic Megamix's version of Labyrinth Zone. Alright, so here we go. They call it Metallic Bass Zone, but we know what this is, right? This is the Labyrinth Zone. Who are they kidding? Yeah, I used to always skip. Oh, okay, so they know. They know because in the original you can jump ahead and it almost, you can almost kind of skip a little bit of the level, but this one, see, these developers were Sonic fans because they knew a lot of people were going to try that. And I got killed and I paid for it. So that's pretty cool. This part right here is complete bullshit. I don't know how you're supposed to do this without getting hit. I thought that part was dumb. They're pretty much just telling you have to lose your rings here. So the Labyrinth Zone in the original is obviously is much better. And I'm probably gonna run out of air unless I get this bubble here. So see what I mean? It's not the same when you don't get that sound from getting your air gulp. A little bit of a puzzle. You have to go down and open this here, and then go up without getting hit by the spike dealie. So yeah, I'm gonna call it Labyrinth Zone. They'll call it Metallic Bass Zone. Let's go ahead and check out the final stage, the final Robotnik boss fight. Check that out. All right, so obviously this is our final boss fight. Now I will tell you before I show you this, I much prefer the original Sonic one for a few reasons. One, the sound's a lot better. Two, I think that's pretty cool. Two, you only have to hit this guy one time. So there's the end of it right there. And it's not as, I don't know, it's not as rewarding if I only have to hit him one time. So, and then you have your little, go through here, looks like I got a little glitch up in the left corner. But I mean, there you have it, guys. I mean, that's essentially Sonic Megamix for Sega CD. Now, like I said, I honestly believe this is my favorite Sonic game on the Sega CD. It feels like a Sonic 1 remaster. It plays like a true Sega game. You know, you look at games like Sonic Mania and you look at who developed that Christian Whitehead. You got an even... It was licensed by Sega. Obviously, Sega has their name on it, but not developed by Sega. So it's amazing what some of these guys and these programmers are doing. And you can check this out. You know, I would definitely suggest downloading it, play it. It's a lot of fun. If you own a Sega CD, play it on original hardware. It plays great. It plays great on emulation. If you want to get it on a cartridge, I don't know if you can find it on a cartridge, but it will play on the Genesis. However, like I said, I feel like the Sonic CD version is much better. And I mean, the cool thing about it is you do have the option to play, you know, Sonic 1 in its original form on the Sega CD. I don't recall there being a actual Sonic 1 on the Sega CD. Again, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. So before I leave, I will sign off and I will show you a little bit of the original Sonic, and we'll play with Knuckles, and we'll say original with Knuckles. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you liked it, subscribe, share the video. That always helps a lot. And until next time, I'll see you on the next video.